It's your boy Kev. Happy Thanksgiving, first of all. Let me tell you what's going on here. We have all the food prepared that we're supposed to take to our Thanksgiving dinner. My wife has been cooking her famous drunken turkey for the last 5 hours. But watching all these shows on TV and reading the Facebook posts, people are asking, well, what's your favorite side dish? And when you ask black people, it's always the same things. It's always greens, mac and cheese, or candied yams, or something like that. Potato salad sometimes. But when you ask white people, it's usually green bean casserole. I'm looking at the Facebook post and like 9 out of 10, green bean casserole, green bean casserole, green bean casserole. Okay, that's not something we do, y'all. So I figured, you know what? This Thanksgiving is going to be a cultural experience for me. I'm going to try to make a green bean casserole. So I've been watching recipes on TV. I've never done it before. This is going to be my first crack at it. I'm going to put my own spin on it because that's what I do. I'm going to try to not use the same old ingredients. I'm going to try to change some things up and give it my own spin. So we'll see how it goes. So I've been watching some TV recipes early this morning. People talking about how they made theirs from grandma's recipes and such. I'm going to make one right now, kind of on the fly, and I hope it turns out good. But we're going to give it a shot. This is a cultural exchange program. Black Thanksgiving with green bean casserole. I wanted to use a meat to flavor the green beans, and I was going to use bacon, but I thought, you know what, I had some pastrami in the fridge, so I cut the pastrami down, and I'm going to use that as my flavoring meat. Going to saute some mushrooms in the meat fat from the pastrami along with some onions. I got the water boiling for the green beans, and ordinarily I salt my water, but today I'm going to use Tony Casserole, the Creole seasoning. I think that's going to add a little bit of spice to the beans. Just frozen baby green beans, nothing tricky here. And I'm going to have those get to probably a kind of a crispy texture, not too overcooked because I don't want it to be soggy. And then I know most recipes call for like cream of mushroom soup, but I'm not going to do that. That's kind of cheating. I'm going to make my own kind of broth gravy out of the drippings from the meat, a little flour, the onions, the sauteed mushrooms, probably a little brown sugar, some Himalayan sea salt, apple cider vinegar, some cracked ground pepper, and we're going to do it that way and see how that works. If it doesn't, I do have a can of cream of mushroom soup standing by the wayside that I will bring it as last minute, but let's see how it works. Let's get started. I got the beans on water now. And I'll start my seasoning meat here, my pastrami. I'm going to get that all grilling. And in the meantime, I'll start sauteing my onions because I want them to be kind of sweet and tender. Just going to use routine butter, nothing tricky. Anything that I saute though, I do add fresh ground pepper to. Even not so much for flavor, but more to give it a little texture. So we're getting started. I'll get back to you guys in a second, let you know how it's going. All right, so the onions are ready. They've taken on the color that I want them to have. Can you see that in there?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, cool. That's my son, Dalton. He's the official cameraman on this project. He is not union, so I don't have to pay him a damn thing. I'm now going to set the onions aside. And the meat is finished as well. So I've gotten all the flavor I need to get out of that. I'm now going to saute mushrooms. I'll probably saute mushrooms in both pans because I have a lot of mushrooms that I want to use in this green bean casserole that I've never made before. And here's the other thing too. I don't use a lot of measurements, which is a good reason I'm filming this because I'm a seasoned to taste kind of person and I'm going to add ingredients as I feel like it. So if this works out, and someone says, oh, you got to give me the recipe. Well, watch the damn tape, because I'm probably not going to have a recipe for you. I can give you the list of ingredients. That I can do, if that helps. But Mama and them, when they taught me how to cook, they didn't measure a whole lot. They just, baby, put a little of this in that. Baby, put a little bit of that in that. That ain't enough, baby. Drop some more of that in there. So that's how I was raised to cook. That's generally how I cook. So I got mushrooms going in 2 pans now, so they can get done pretty quickly. I'm not going to cook them down too much because mushrooms can really shrink up. I want them to be visible in my casserole. The problem I've had with the green bean casseroles that I've seen is that they look kind of drab and beige and boring. And I want this one to have some texture and stuff. So I didn't use like canned or bottled mushrooms. I'm using portobello sliced. And I'm going to saute them to get them down a little bit. But then, you know, when I put all these ingredients together, they're going to bake, so they're going to cook some more. So I don't want them to be too small. Like I said before, most things that I saute, even if I saute it in butter or olive oil or whatever, I always add a little fresh ground pepper. All right. Now I'm debating in my head whether I should try to make a gravy with flour and brown sugar and apple cider vinegar and all that kind of stuff, or if I should cheat and use some cream of mushroom soup. And considering how late I got into this project, I'm probably going to cheat a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see if I hold out. Or I might use some combination of the two. The pastrami came out really nice. By grilling it and giving it a little crispy texture, it was lean pastrami anyway. It was from a really good, a nice deli not too far from here. Nice Jewish deli. You got the pastrami nice and lean. You got it all cut, nice and top, nice and chopped and fine. So it's all set and ready to go. The green beans should be just about ready. Because again, we don't want them too soggy because they are going to go in a casserole dish and bake. I'll probably slide them in the oven alongside the drunken turkey my wife has going. All right, so that's the next step. Get back to you guys in a little bit. All right, the mushrooms have taken on the color and texture that I want to. They're not cooked down too much. They have a little bit of char to them, which I kind of wanted. Really pleased with the pastrami. That came out nice. It's got a little crispy texture to it now. It was lean anyway, from a nice, you know, the nice Jewish deli up the street on Capello. It's a nice cut of meat. It's nice and lean. I chop it down nice and slim and thin and cut. I got a lot of it in here, and now it's ready. Okay, that's my apologies to all my Jewish friends. That's about as good as it gets from me. I know no Yiddish, so this is it though. So we got most of the stuff, most of the ingredients kind of done. I can kind of set this stuff aside, and now I got to prepare what will be the base, or essentially the binding agent, the gravy. So that's it. Green beans should be just about ready too. They should be nice and al dente, not too soggy, and with a little bit of bite, a little bit of texture to them. Okay, I've combined all the ingredients over here. So I got all the green beans and the mushrooms and the onions and the grilled pastrami and all that stuff in here. I'm making the binding agent, which would ordinarily be the recipe that I saw on TV was like a little vinegar, some brown sugar. She re-sauteed some mushrooms and onions, and then she added water to make it kind of like a gravy as a binding agent. And I gotta be honest, at this point, I'm not feeling this as a possible binding agent. I may cheat and use the cream of mushroom soup, which, quite honestly, most recipes call for that anyway. It's just, I like to kind of go outside the norm and do something different. I'm sauteing the mushrooms in butter with a little bit of white wine, cracked brown pepper, or cracked black pepper, the brown sugar, apple cider vinegar, flour, obviously, as the thickening agent. And it's got the texture. I mean, it looks like this would go good over a biscuit or something, but I'm smelling it as it cooks, and I think the vinegar is probably overpowering it for me. I wish I had one of my white friends in the kitchen with me right now to know if that's like a normal one of the flavor profiles is if you actually smell the vinegar. But I'm not having a lot of faith in this right now. I think I'm going to chicken out and go with the cream of mushroom soup as a binding agent. We'll see. And then the other thing that I have is something that I have never actually purchased ever in life before, and it's actually crispy onions. And I've seen these on the tops of a lot of the green bean casseroles that I've seen in magazines and such. So I got some of these to go on the top, and that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to chicken out. Just to show you though, this is what it's looking like, and that's the way it's supposed to look from all the pictures that I've seen. But I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that smell. I'm gonna check it out and use the cream of mushroom soup. So I'll let you know how that goes. Right. My first ever green bean casserole should be ready. Let's pull it out and see what it looks like. All right. Okay. It looks like it's supposed to look. Let's see if it tastes like it's supposed to. I don't know what it's supposed to taste like. So, I'm not going to be brave enough to be the tester. I will, I think I'm going to get my wife of 29 years to be the official food tester on this, because technically she signed that for better or for worse in sickness and in health contract, so she technically can't even really critique this negatively, because I'll just put that under for better or worse. All right. Okay, so all the ingredients came out the way they should have. There's a little bit of char on the mushrooms. The pastrami is prevalent. The green beans are the right texture. I'm gonna try to get a little bit of everything on here with a little shoestring onions so she can have a good flavor profile to work with. Okay, baby.
Yes.
It's your funeral.
Alright, you try. Oh, that's a lot. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Like your mouth ain't big enough. There we go.
It's good. Tastes like chicken.
See, this is what happens when you use non-union talent. They think they can ad lib and write their own. Okay, I'm gonna give it a shot myself.
It's good.
Do you think it needs anything?
More seasoning.
That's the wrong person to ask that, but yeah, you're probably right.
Creole seasoning and Tabasco sauce.
And I went light on everything. It actually tastes the way I kind of expected it to taste. But for a black family, you could use more salt.
Yes, most definitely.
But everything else, I'm fine with. I like the pastrami. The pastrami adds a different element, kind of a smoky flavor to it. Mushrooms are great. Even the crispy onions add a nice texture to it. I'll probably add more crispy onions. But the next time I make this, I will use more seasoning. I went light on the seasoning because I was trying to, be safe. But, okay, so I'm going to call this a moderate success. Now that I know what I'm working with, I kind of have a better idea of some things that I would probably do a little differently. But to throw this together last minute on a day when we had already been cooking all day, I'm satisfied with it. Thanks for watching. My son's going to edit this to make it look better. And I'll post it on something, Facebook, IG, or whatever. Thank you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you soon.